Hello everyone, my name is Chemistry. Welcome to Weekly Science. Today we are going to talk about atomic theory. Before doing anything else, let's talk about what is atomic theory.
Atomic theory is a theory stating that all matter is made of small particles. Those particles are called atoms. In those atoms, there are subatomic particles called protons, electrons, and neutrons. It all began in Greece in 400 BC, where a person named Demetrius argued against most scientists about small individual particle of being the smallest unit of matter, and that was the start of atomic theory. A few centuries later, John Dalton created the first official atomic theory, which contained four main points. First, elements are made out of extremely small particles called atoms. Second, atoms of a given element are identical in size, mass, and other properties. Atoms of different elements differ in size, mass, and other properties. Third main point is atoms of an element are not changed into different types of atoms by chemical reaction. Atoms are neither created nor destroyed in chemical reaction. Fourth main points are compounds are formed when atoms of more than one element combine. A given compound always has the same relative number and kinds of atoms. Many years after, J.J. Thomson came up with a unique model of atom which stated that electrons are embedded in uniform positive sphere of protons. However, Rudolph observed an experiment and proved that Thomson's model is wrong and proposed a new model that looked like the one we see today. Following that, Mendeleev, who arranged all the known elements at his time, creating what is now the periodic table with the help of atomic theory. Now, if we view our modern-day atomic structure, we have protons and neutrons, which is in the nucleus of the atom, with electrons circling around it.
After knowing all the incredible scientists who contribute in discovering our modern atomic theory, let's vote for the most meaningful scientist. Welcome to our show, Mr. Dalton. Congratulations! You got the first prize of the most meaningful scientist who contributed in the atomic theory. Today, we are going to have an interview.
I'm quite surprised, you see. Hi, Chemistry. I know that there isn't many young people who care about science lately, but I'm very thankful for coming here.
Mr. Dalton, tell us about your past life. Who has the most effect on you and what makes you interested in science?
I was born into a Quaker family in England. My science life started with mathematics. For this, I need to thank Mr. Robinson. I was interested in science because of him.
How did you discover the atomic theory? What did you find out, Mr. Dalton?
I came up with the theory while I was doing research on gas. LOL, I didn't expect that. I found that gas can only be combined into certain property even if different compounds share the same element. So I came up with a hypothesis that elements combine at the atomic level with a fixed ratio. The ratio differs due to an element nature atomic weight.
What did you do to prove your hypothesis?
I studied and expanded upon previous work which developed the law of multiple proportions. If two elements came together to form more than one compound, then the ratio of the mass of the second element which combined with a fixed mass of the first element will be the ratio of small integers. I found an atomic theory of matter could explain this common pattern in chemistry. One tin atom will combine with either one or two oxygen atoms. I also believe the atomic theory could explain why water absorbs different gases in different proportions And in 1803, I presented my first list of relative atomic weights for a number of substances.
Thank you, Miss Dalton, for your... Hi, Joe. Why did you vote for John Dalton?
Have you ever heard of the theory where the greatest scientist is often the person who made our high school life so hard? Well, alone from the fact that his name was all over my last quiz, he's probably the most meaningful guy. Without him, my textbook won't look the same.
Interesting theory. I'm sure that I heard it somewhere before. Thank you for your time, Joe. Hi, Lillian. For what reason did you vote for John Dalton?
Well, my reason is pretty straightforward. John Dalton is the person who started the evolution of the atomic theory. Without him, the theory won't even exist.
Good point, Lily. Good afternoon, Miss Chloride. What are your opinions about John Dalton?
John Dalton is truly an amazing guy. He made the first table according to atom's mass, which helped demonstrate Mandela to create the periodic table of elements 60 years later. His atomic theory gave the scientists of his age a brand new view of the physics and the chemistry world, where many ministries had been sold because of his laws and theories. If John Dalton did not discover all the things that he did, none of our chemistry today would exist.
What kind of mysteries are we looking at, Miss Chloride? Can you give us some example?
Sure, Chem. John Dalton developed the law of multiple proportions, which solved the mystery why can one tin atoms only be combined with one or two oxygen atoms. In addition, he also found the law of constant composition, which kind of explains how a compound works.
Wow, that is really an incredible discovery. Thanks, Miss Chloride. Hello, Argon. How is your life so far? How is your jobs lately?
My job? You mean being a noble gas? Ma'am, I like my job floating around without doing anything.
Nice to hear that. I'm actually here today to ask you about John Dalton since you voted him as the most meaningful scientist who contributed in the development of the atomic theory.
Oh, John Dalton. He was a nice fellow and he is very intelligent. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, no. Can you explain how John Dalton is intelligent?
Well, John developed the first atomic theory. It was the first time that someone came up with a real theory about atoms. It was a real step forward in the history of chemistry and physics as well. It did an amazing explanation of elements and compounds.
Thank you, Argon, for your precious time. This is it for this week's Weekly Science. Have a nice weekend.